If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you ready, kids? Get your parents' permission, check your mailbox, and grab your shopping cart. It's time for the Adventures in Collecting podcast.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Dave. Welcome to Adventures in Collecting, where we talk toy news, culture, and hauls,
along with our journeys as collectors. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Adventures in Collecting. You see him already here on screen, yeah. Dave. Our guest is no stranger to the show. Actually, fun fact, there has been no other guest with this amount of appearances on this podcast. I have actually lost count. Wow. He's the man behind the toys that made us, a toy store near you, Roboforce, and the entire budding Nacelle-verse. On top of all of that, he is now burdened with the making of Star Trek collectors' dreams come true. Brian Volk-Weiss, welcome back to the show, friend.
Thank you for having me, and no burden whatsoever.
You're like our Tom Hanks.
That's right. That's right. 5 appearances,
but cooler. Tom Hanks, but cooler. So okay. as we mentioned, Roboforce season 1 is now live on Tubi, which is super cool. What inspired you to do this kind of look and feel for the first entry into the Nacelle-verse animated universe?
It's funny. I'm a big believer in it's like a weird thing it's a hard thing to explain, but I like taking can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I told you the Wi-Fi in this hotel is horrible. So I like taking new and I like taking old and kind of, for lack of a better expression, smushing them together. So as it relates to the writing and the characters and the plots, I think it's very modern, but I wanted to have this kind of retro vibe to the whole season, if not the whole Nacelle-verse, because it is, it is a toy from the 80s. Almost all the brands that we have are from the 80s and 90s. Only Garloo is not. So I really wanted to have this this kind of retro vibe, and that's what we aim for.
Yeah, and I love the intro, the Nacelle-verse kind of stinger that plays before it that has all the different characters. Seeing them all together on one screen is wild. It's just wild.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, I admit. It's funny. Like, I'll either have an idea or someone else will have an idea that I approve, and then a week, a month, 3 months later, I get a link to watch something, and it's like, oh, yeah, this is crazy. So yeah, that's how I felt when I saw it the first time. It's so funny you say that, but yeah, I had the identical reaction.
Well, I'll tell you, in our house, it definitely had a Saturday morning cartoon vibe, because I put it on for the kiddos after breakfast, and we all sat down and watched, I think, the first 4 episodes.
Great.
And the girls loved it. They were upset that we had to continue on with our day and come back to it later. They wanted to keep watching. I mean, the characters are great. The storytelling is nice and deep, but good enough good enough for like an adult to sit there and watch, but also, you know, the kids are able to follow it and, you know, are already starting to pick out their favorite characters. And yeah.
That's great. And by the way, this is now my mission in life. There is an after credits scene in the 6th episode. So sit through the credits.
All right, you got it.
So we've seen like the lore and the vibes that have been kind of brought forth by the toys since they came first. But will fans of the toy line, longtime fans, new fans, catch any Easter eggs from the toy lore?
So are you talking about Roboforce or all of the properties we work with?
Roboforce mostly, but any properties too. Anything that's out there.
What we tried to do, and I've seen a lot of people comment about this, so I think it worked. We tried to have a lot of Easter eggs, but be subtle about said Easter eggs. So, you know, again, if you know who Garloo is, you see him almost anytime you're outdoors in Detroit. But if you don't know who Garloo is, it doesn't affect anything. You see sectarians walking around. You see some bovines from Moo Mesa walking around. So there are, you know, I believe one of the only Cowboys in Moo Mesa references is just a cow walking through an airport in Hawaii. Yep. So if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you're like, why the fuck is there a cow? But that, and then hopefully whoever asked that question will do a little research and be like, oh, so there's tons of Easter eggs. Roboforce has, like, if you got to episode 3, I don't know if you saw this or not, but in the background of the defunct Roboforce headquarters, you'll see a capsule that says something like the Nazgar capsule. That is a reference to a Roboforce character that never got made because the line was canceled so quickly. Even though pictures were put out of it, it never got made. So that's the kind of stuff there is. But again, if you don't know, it don't matter. So, and you know, to one of your other points you made, we really worked very hard so that your daughters would like the show and you would like the show. So that's it. And it's a tricky thing to do. It's much easier to pick one or the other and just embrace it. But, you know, my favorite cartoons, X-Men, Batman, the animated series, like these cartoons operated at multiple levels. And that's really what we tried to do.
Yeah, and I mean, shouts to Gavin, you know, on the team over there. I mean, he's one hell of a writer, and you know, loved what he did with the Gundam series. And you know, as soon as I saw his name pop up in the opening credits, that was also a little bit of a surprise to me. I had not realized that he was involved in this. So seeing his name in the opening credits, I immediately got like the tinglies because I was like, oh, this is gonna be good.
I'm actually very mad at Gavin at the moment because there are two things I have tried to avoid my entire life because I know my personality. One is Doctor Who, and the other is Gundam. And just out of respect, because I love Gavin, I was like, yeah, you know, I'll watch an episode or whatever. And now I'm obsessed with Gundam.
Yeah.
So, and so it's what a coincidence. So is my wallet. But no, Gavin, we were very, 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 very lucky to get him.
Well, yeah, definitely avoid the Doctor Who one because that one you'll get sucked in like super quick.
Yeah.
By the way, another one is what's the one? Stargate.
Oh,
that's another one where I'm like
SD1. Yeah.
So now listen, I would love for you to get the Doctor Who bug, because there is a severe lack of Doctor Who toys outside of a very small market in England. So, you know, maybe you should catch that bug. Just throwing that out there.
It was more of a like, I know you don't have a lot of time type of warning, but like it's great.
I'm sure it's great. Here's the thing. If I got into it and we'd probably do the toys. But what I've learned from Star Trek is I really can't do anything like this if I'm not passionate. And like the reason why Star Trek is working, and boy, is it working, it's because of possibly 5,000 characters. 45 of my almost 49 years on this planet has been spent doing research to know the exact 8 to pull out of 5,000. And, some people thought it was a little crazy to be doing certain characters, but it is definitely working. And I don't know. I always joke, but I'm not even really joking. Maybe in retirement, I'll get into Doctor Who and Stargate and everything.
So before we switch gears to Star Trek, a couple more things about Roboforce. You are working with the People's Champion, the final boss himself, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, on bringing the show to life. What's it like working with the one person in Hollywood that's busier than you?
I got it. People ask me that all the time. And I'm very lucky because there's a lot of other celebrities I've worked with, and I got to kind of dodge and weave because they're assholes or they're crazy. Dwayne is exactly what you would think. He's a ball buster. He's funny as hell. He can get very serious at the right times. And you can have these like really deep philosophical, like debates, for lack of a better word. And again, we're not talking about like Socrates or anything or Socrates. But, and again, I don't talk to this guy, all the time. I don't want to come off as though I'm saying anything like that. But he's exactly what you think. First time I met him, first time I ever spoke to him, I was actually interviewing him for Behind the Attraction season 1. And, you want to kind of click with people, the interview and whatever. So I just said to him, I made an offhanded comment about his episode that he's in Voyager. And he laughed and we talked about it a little bit. And then the interview ended and he stayed on the Zoom with me because it was in the middle of COVID. We had to do it by Zoom. But he stayed on the Zoom with me for almost half an hour talking about Voyager and why that was such an important thing for his career. And he didn't have to do that, as you know. Huh. So that's what he's like. He's wonderful. He's absolutely wonderful.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
This segment is brought to you by our friends at Chubsy Wubsy Toys. A traditional mom-and-pop toy store in Little Falls, New Jersey, Chubsy Wubsy Toys brings you the best new toys from the brands you love without the hassle of pounding the pavement searching for them at larger retail stores. Visit them in person at their brand new home at 101 Newark Pompton Turnpike, Suite 1 in Little Falls, New Jersey, or online at chubsywubsy.com. That's CHUBZYWUBZZY.com. And tell them Adventures in Collecting sent you.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And now, back to the show.
So, speaking of other people from the community, we recognize some familiar voices from the community on the show. How did friends of the pod, Toy Shiz and Dan Larson, get involved?
Yeah, Matt, it was really Matt's idea because Matt was a producer on a toy store near you before he moved over to the Nacelleverse. And when we were working on it, he was like, hey, why don't we have some of our friends do voices? Everybody, and some of my other friends, the guy who does the computer voice all throughout Roboforce, that's, I've known that guy, that's Jake Harris. I've known him like almost over 20 years. And, you want to work with your friends. Like if you have to be in an audio bay with someone, why not someone you've known for 20 years? So it really is that simple. I love Jordan. I love man. I love these guys, and we just wanted them in the show.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's
Very
so cool
cool.
to see them, to see like our peers and our friends, and it just adds that additional layer
and
of
and
connection to the show.
two very recognizable voices that you're not gonna
Oh yeah.
miss. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. So what's but before we switch over to Star Trek and start talking a little bit more about that, what's next for Roboforce, Brian?
So, based on the and it's today is only day 4. So, I mean, we'll need at least 30 days, if not 130, 100 and probably about 130 days to really know for sure how it's doing. But based on social media, based on IMDb and Reddit, it's people really, really seem to like it a lot. Everybody seems to. The only negative comment I've seen is that people are kind of knocking the animation. And, again, compared to Disney or Illumination, that's a fair statement to make. But other than that, everybody seems to love the characters and the plots and the twists and the turns and the comedy and the heart. So if a month from now we are looking good, we will probably start the process to make season 2.
Awesome.
very cool. So, changing gears, hopping into the final frontier. You officially announced Series 2 of the Star Trek figures at WonderCon. What's the fan reception? I know you kind of said a little bit so far,
That's
so
right.
good. But what's the reception been for the character selection?
Oh, for the character selection for Wave 2, much better than Wave 1. But I think that's because I think we shocked I mean, literally, I got a text from a friend of mine who's in the toy business, and he works on Star Trek 2. And he texted me, you probably know who he is, but he texted me, interesting selections, ... That was for Wave 1. So we went a little more mainstream in Wave 2. Though I still got my BEM there. But no, the reaction to Wave 2 has been phenomenal, and the way I can tell how phenomenal it has been, it even more blew up sales of Wave 1.
Oh,
so
good.
it's
Good.
I said this the other day, so I guess I can say it again. No one's mad at me yet. But, when you do stuff like this, there's spreadsheets and our CFO and all that stuff. And, we had a prediction for where we'd be after 6 months financially, where we'd be after a year. And in about a month, we were where we thought we would be in July. So, and I
Nice.
think they dropped like March 1st or March 2nd. So by the beginning of April, we were where we had prayed to God we would be in July.
Awesome.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
and I saw today, we're recording on on April 15th here, that they're now Wave 1, while it is up on the NacelleStore.com. It is also, they're available on Big Bad Toy Store now for pre-order as of today. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, and they went up on Big Bad. You may have said that, but you were a little frozen. But yeah, went up on Big Bad today, which is also something we heard that the community wanted. Obviously, every time I order from Big Bad, they give you one of them stickers.
Yes.
I have a black garbage pail, the most cliched black garbage pail you could buy in an office, and you barely can see any black. It is so covered in stickers. So I'm not surprised that was a big request.
So that's Series 1. That's up for pre-order. When can we expect the pre-order for Wave 2 here?
It'll be this year.
Okay. All right.
And we also we have some surprises that as of a call this morning, I can now tell you, mid to late summer, we have a pretty good, awesome surprise.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That sounds like it's right about around San Diego Comic-Con, perhaps, maybe.
Maybe San Diego, maybe Star Trek Las Vegas.
Okay.
We'll I think it'll be Star Trek Las Vegas because we have a lot of announcements in San Diego, including Star Trek. I mean, especially Star Trek. Like we're going to have a lot of prototypes and other things there that no one has seen before. Probably going to tease Wave 3. So the announcement, I think it's very hard for me to be patient and save things, but I do believe we're going to wait for Vegas.
All right. So one other question about Wave 2. So since Captain Kirk comes with a literal horse, will that be like a deluxe release, or is it going to be just in the normal? So he comes with a complete horse. That's just his accessory. Sweet Jesus. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And it's not articulated. So I want to be very clear about that. But no, the way I look at it is, as you guys know, we're going to be doing characters one day that we'll use the mold from Jellicoe and we'll put another head on it. Yeah. And that's going to be a very cost-effective thing for us to do. So we'll make up our money with that kind of stuff. But I don't think it's fair to the customer. And as you guys know, 99% of my life, I am the fucking customer. I just don't think it's fair. Like I remember the Gamorrean guard from the Black series was gorgeous. To this day, I consider it to be like one of the tippy top of toy manufacturing. But I remember it was like $60. And I'm like, why is this $60? Yes, it has some fur, but yeah. So I really $28.99. That's our price point, and that's what we think it should be. Horse or no horse, Genesis package or no Genesis package.
Amazing.
It was funny. My fiance, who's more well versed in Star Trek than I am, she is like a Star Trek fan. When I was like, oh yeah, it's Generations. Kirk, she goes, "Was he come with a horse?" I go, "Actually."
It's funny you say that.
Yeah. Funny you mention that because he does.
So, we know how important fan feedback is to you, as a fan, as somebody who is so kind of ingrained in the community. And you've already been incredibly receptive to it thus far, especially when it comes to the Star Trek stuff. I mean, you guys had that whole poll about the ab crunch or no ab crunch, going to the biker mice with the ab crunch or no ab crunch, and going back and adding the ab crunch. Like you've been very responsive. And as you know from your previous chats with us, we like to highlight some of that feedback wherever we can. We know, you can't be everywhere all at once. And we have a little piece of feedback that we found that we'd like to play for you. Is it all right if we play you a video real quick?
The Wi-Fi has been horrible. Did you say you want to play me a video?
Yes.
As best as it can.
All right, we're going to play. This video is a little bit of feedback for you from a fan.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to say a big you to Brian from Nacelle, and the wonderful people from NacelleStore.com who are not taking orders from anyone outside of the US for the new line of deep cut Star Trek figures. I was looking forward to getting all of these, but now since I'm going to have to be chasing them on eBay for scalper prices, and it's going to be costing me about $100 AUD, something like that, $80, $90, $100. I can't afford to get all of them. I can't afford to spend $800 a wave, so I'm not going to be able to get all of them now. So f*** you. You're supposed to be for the fans. All this talk about, oh, we're doing this for the fans. We just want to make them for the fans. Well, apparently that only meant the American fans. So f*** you, Brian. You.
So we came across that video, and he had some choice. Steve had some choice words for you there.
There's a lot.
So lots of expletive deleted terminology there.
We sure did.
We had to scrub it, and then we had to scrub it again.
But that being said, do you have any updates for Star Trek fans outside of the U.S.?
5 hours later.
I got worried. I thought you'd think I hung up on you because I was so mad.
No, I was just about to say Brian one of the most busiest people on the planet and is always everywhere all at once. So please, listeners, viewers, be patient with the connection here. But now that you're back, do you have any updates for our fans, Star Trek fans outside the U.S.?
Yeah, no. I got good news for Steve, whatever, Arts 89. But here's the funny thing, because the Wi-Fi, the good news and the bad news. The bad news, I couldn't hear anything because the Wi-Fi was so bad. The good news, I'd already seen it. I have to admit, I think I watched it 3 times, so I'm very, very familiar with it. By the way, in his defense, by the way, you know what I love about that video? Read the comments, because like his own followers are like, dude, are you serious? Like, you're getting a little crazy here. Yeah, I listen, passion is passion. I will say this though, in his defense, that in Australia, what we hear called the C word or the see you next Tuesday word, it's in Australia, it kind of more is like asshole. So I think there is a little language barrier going on, or maybe it's just also me in denial. But yes, I did.
It's like a double meaning.
Oh, did he call me friend?
No, it could mean either. I'm told.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah. So make everybody happy. But the good news is, Mr. Steve Arts 89, whatever his name is. By the way, my lucky number is 89, and I have since dropped that as my lucky number because of Steve 89. Yes, they are now for sale in Australia.
There we go. All right, so
right.
Star Trek in the land down under.
Big news.
Yeah,
that's actually big news.
That is. It's great.
Yeah, it's huge. It's
great. So, Steve, hopefully you get that message.
That's right. And we're now for sale in Germany, Australia, Canada, and England.
Even bigger news.
Awesome. So, Brian,
we'll hopefully be adding Brazil soon.
Oh,
even better.
Yeah.
Obrigado.
More Star Trek, more places.
So I know
right.
our time is short, and your connection, you are doing your best with what you got over there in that hotel. You can watch Roboforce the animated series on Tubi. The entire season 1 is live now.
Available on Tubi.
You can follow Nacelle Toys on Instagram, and you can pre-order all of your Nacelle toys at NacelleStore.com. Brian, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. As always, it's a pleasure chatting with you.
All right, thanks, guys. Sorry about the tech.
No,
all good. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you, dear listener, for hanging out with us today. Subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen, and then tell your friends to do it. Thanks also to Joe Azari, the golden voice behind our intro. Our music is Game Boy Horror by the Zombie Dandies. Find more about them both in our show notes.
Follow us on social media at AIC_podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Stop by and say hi, show us your toy hauls, and share your toy stories. Maybe we'll talk about it in a future episode.
Don't try this at home. Void where prohibited and some assembly required. Each sold separately, not a flying toy. Consult a physician if your toy run exceeds more than 4 hours.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer, Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.